Now we'll start a new topic for literature. That's my greatest Olympic prizes by Jesse Owens. This story is about determination, is about racial supremacy, and further, this story reflects the preface or the very background of Second World War. We have Hitler as a character here in this story. Better we should not call it a story, we should call it an autobiography. Jesse Owens was a great athlete. He took part in 1936 Olympics in Germany, and he proved himself as a winner, a triumphant. But this particular story or this part of his autobiography consists of a very specific, ironical as well as a very different type of twist in it. And that is the main story we are going to have here. The story of brotherhood, fellow feeling, kindness and love. So, in this story, we will go through all these scenes and themes, and further, we will discuss all the adds and odds related to this one. So, this is the introduction to the story, and it will take time to complete the story because this story is very much relevant in today's world. So here is the introduction to the great story, my greatest Olympic prize. Here we go. So who was Jesse Owens? Jesse Owens was born on September 12, 1913 and he died 31st March 1980. He was also known as the Bucky Bullet, as an American track and field athlete who won 4 gold medals and broke 2 world records at the 1936 Olympic Games in Berlin. Owens' athletic career began in his high school when he won 3 tracks and field events at the 1933 National Interscholastic Championships. 2 years later, while competing for Ohio State University, he equaled 1 world record and broke 3 others before qualifying and competing in the 1936 Olympics. 1936 Olympic was a major event in Jesse Owens' life, and in that particular event he showcased his true talent. And Jesse Owens belonged to that Afro-American community, a dark-skinned gentleman, so he was subjected to humiliation in Germany as well as in different parts of the world where the whites are majority. Adolf Hitler and the Nazis in 1936 Berlin Olympic were expected to be German showcase and a statement for Aryan supremacy. What this Hitler used to think that the German belong to that Aryan race and they are superior to the others, they are superior to the other communities, other caste and other creed. They believed that their blood was pure and of supreme quality and they were born to be leader and the ruler, and others are nothing, subordinate in front of them. This very theory was theoretically broken by Jesse Owens with his triumph. So the story will reflect all these events and will help us to understand the facts and factors. It was summer of 1936 and Olympics were being held in Germany. Adolf Hitler viewed it it as a golden opportunity to showcase his country and to prove to the rest of the world that his Aryan race was superior. 22-year-old American athlete Jesse Owens did not care much for Hitler's theory. He trained himself and practiced hard for 6 years to win a medal at the Olympics and break Hitler's myth of Aryan superiority or supremacy. A year earlier, on May 25, 1935, Owens recorded one of the mind-blowing performances in the track field history. He broke 3 world records and tied another at a Big Ten track and field championship in Michigan in just 45 minutes. In the trial of long jump event, Jesse fouled on the first 2 attempts. Top German athlete Lars Long, who had qualified for the final, came up to him and introduced himself. Although Lars Long had been schooled in Nazi movement, he did not believe in the theory of Aryan supremacy. He advised Owens to play it safe and jump a few inches before the usual takeoff spot. He took his advice and qualified for the finals. That night, Jesse walked over to Lars Long's room in Olympic Village to thank him. Jesse was aware of the fact that if it had not been for Lars Long, he would not have qualified for the finals. When they finally got up to leave, both of them knew that the real friendship had been formed. Jesse could guess that Lars wanted him to do his best, even if that meant his winning. In the finals, Lars broke his own past record. In doing so, he pushed Jesse on to peak performance. Jesse won the gold medal, an Olympic record of 26 feet. and 5 inches. Lars Long was the first person who congratulated Jesse. Despite the fact that Hitler glared at them from the stand not 100 years away, Lars shook Jesse's hand hard with a smile on his face. At that moment, Jesse felt that if he could melt down all the gold medals and cups he had, there could not be a plating on the 24-carat friendship he had with Lars. Jesse realized then that Lars was the epitome of what Pierre Coubertin, founder of modern Olympic Games, must have had in his mind when he said, "The important thing in Olympic Games is not winning, but taking part. The essential thing in life is not conquering, but fighting well." So that was the summary of the entire story. Short summary, a brief summary. Now we have the themes. Basically, we have two themes. The spirit of sportsmanship. The sportsmanship and aspiration that sports activity will be enjoyed for its own sake, with the proper consideration for fairness, ethics, respect, and sense of fellowship with one's competitor. My greatest Olympic prize depicts how German athlete Lars Long exhibited true spirit of sportsmanship by being friendly and motivating his competitor Jesse Owens. And second one, showcasing true friendship. Jesse Owens, through his short autobiographical account, showcases the true and honest friendship formed between him and German athlete Lars Long. When Lars Long saw Owens making fouls, he acted as a true guide and friend. He did not act as a rival, but helped him qualify for the jump final in 1936 Olympics. So these are the themes we have for this particular story. Now, few more background and events that are related to this very story, we have to understand those things. Just like the racial supremacy theory, the background of Second World War, the rise of dictatorship. These things we need to know a bit. is the introduction to the video, and in the next videos we'll go through the events and all those words, all those important phrases and parts of the story, and we'll make proper analysis and detailing, explanation, paraphrasing of all this part. Hope this information will be useful to write down future required.